Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to a look at some of the stories from the world of Formula 1 that have caught my eye over the last week. Kicking us off then, and Racing Point boss Otmar Szafnauer believes that Lance Stroll is on the same level as Esteban Ocon, in the simulator at least. Of course, Stroll was confirmed by Racing Point as Sergio Perez's 2019 teammate just a couple of weeks ago, and he did impress during the post-season Pirelli tyre test in Abu Dhabi, finishing third on both days. And speaking about the Canadian's performance both on and off track, Otmar Szafnauer said, "We were duly impressed with Lance. We were already impressed with him when he ran in the simulator. He was on the pace very quickly up to Esteban's level in the simulator. We were just hoping that the pace he showed in the simulator would translate onto the track, and it did. He was very quick on track too. We've got some good potential there in Lance, and we'll work with him to hopefully teach him some things we know about how to drive the tyre and how to preserve it, make it go quick and last over the stint. We'll do that with him, help him qualify better too." So then, Lance Stroll is as quick as Esteban Ocon in the simulator. I mean, it's one thing delivering in a simulator and a whole other thing delivering on track, of course. But I'm going to reiterate something I've said a lot lately. Stroll is not a bad driver. Is he a world beater about to set F1 alight? No, I highly doubt it. But he has the potential to be a good midfield driver, and frankly, that's all Racing Point need him to be. Yeah, alright, his dad's money fast-tracked him to F1, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't have made it eventually anyway. Look at some of the mediocre drivers we've had in the past who didn't have the cash, but were still given their chance. As I've always said, even paid drivers must have some sort of pedigree to be considered by F1 teams. Is he on the same level as Ocon? Well, Szafnauer has all the data, we don't, but I would be very surprised if he was. Ultimately though, we shall see next season. If he can stay within striking distance of Perez and finish the season within a handful of points of him, I actually think that would be a good first season at Racing Point for him, but I genuinely do not believe he's going to be as bad as some people are making out. Next up, and there are some claims floating around the world of F1 that McLaren are looking to copy parts of the Red Bull car that were effective for the team in 2018 and that worked well with the Renault engine. However, new driver Carlos Sainz has played down those rumours, saying there is no truth to the claims, and he said, "I think it's very straightforward to say that the team is copying a chassis. I'm sure there are ideas from all the teams that McLaren has looked at, but that happens in Formula 1 and in all the categories that I have raced in." Sainz, who has also stressed that he is convinced Renault will give McLaren, quote, "the same weapons as they give their own cars," actually went on to play down the possible improvements from McLaren in 2019. When asked whether they will have a competitive car, he added, "It depends on what you call competitive. If you call competitive fighting for a world championship, I think as Formula 1 is today, it's very early even for podiums. If a competitive car means trying to lead the middle zone, I think that is the goal that McLaren has set. It doesn't mean we will do it next year, but it is a goal, and I think it is realistic." Somewhat realistic targets from Carlos Sainz then, good to hear in all honesty. However, when it comes to the rumour of McLaren copying aspects of the Red Bull, well, frankly, good. That McLaren was dire in 2018, and they were a hell of a long way off from challenging the Red Bulls. Let's not forget that was their target in the winter. So if they can emulate parts of the 2018 Red Bull car that worked, and then that in turn sees them move up the grid, then that's surely a good thing. Let's be perfectly honest about this, their own ideas haven't exactly worked out, have they? So taking inspiration from other teams and their cars could well work out to be quite a smart move. At the end of the day, it can't really be any worse than it was in 2018. 2018 was a frustrating year for Daniel Ricciardo, and that's despite a very promising start to the season, which saw him pick up 2 wins in the opening 6 races. However, reliability problem after reliability problem meant that the Aussie ended the season a long way adrift of teammate Max Verstappen. And Ricciardo has admitted that when things were going against him, he lost his cool on multiple occasions. Speaking during Red Bull's On the Sofa, the Aussie told Verstappen, "It all started in Melbourne before the season even started. In practice, I got the penalty for not slowing enough for that red flag, so that started with putting my elbows through the door of my room. A week later, I tried to channel that energy into Bahrain, and my race finished after 1 lap. So I put my knee through the door in that one, and it kind of spiraled. And there was the fist in Austin, and Austin was the worst one. Austin, I don't know why, I just reached a real low." If you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend checking it out on their YouTube channel because Ricciardo really does go quite deep into his career highs and lows at times. And that includes how he felt in Hungary 2015, the first race of course, after the passing of Jules Bianchi. Jules passing affected me more than I ever would have thought, and I had a few other things going on in my life at that time that in a way shaped me into this next version of who I am. The first race back was Budapest, and that was my first podium that year. To get a podium there felt massive. It was a huge relief and a moment of gratitude. That was really important. In 2015, that was a really big high to come off such a low. Going back to the first part of the story and the Aussie losing his temper, I mean, it's hardly surprising, is it? And who can blame him, really? Particularly when you look at the pace that Verstappen was demonstrating after the summer break, you could quite easily argue that Daniel Ricciardo would have been right up there with him had he had a reliable car, and who knows, perhaps even pipping Valtteri Bottas in the driver's standings as well. I look at 2018 for Ricciardo and it really does feel like a case of what could have been almost. So here's hoping in 2019, his first season of course at Renault, fingers crossed he has a damn sight better year. Now, the plan is to keep these rundowns limited to 3 stories with my brief opinion on each. However, I did think that this was well worth a mention, and so I'm going to end on this. The season may have only just finished, but Pirelli have already announced the tyres available for the first 4 race weekends of 2019. Obviously, each tyre will be named the hard, medium and soft at each event next season, but so that the teams can distinguish between each compound, Pirelli are naming them the C1, the hardest, all the way to the C5, which is the softest. So, for Australia it will be the C2, C3 and C4s, and that will be the same for China and Baku, whereas in Bahrain, it will be the C1, C2 and C3s that are available for drivers to choose from. Yes, okay, it's only December, but I can almost smell the new season. At least I hope that's a new season. Anyway, that is it for the rundown then. You can have your say on any of the stories featured in today's video in the comment section down below. And I will be back on Saturday with my annual Lewis Hamilton video. Yes, that's right, I've only got the balls to make one a year. And don't forget to join us live this Sunday at 6 PM UK time for some more F1 discussion. In the meantime, though, you can follow me over on social media. Links to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course to Discord are all in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.